had already moved out, and he was working in Cleveland. And what they did is, he was working in Cleveland, so what they did is they had him working, I don't know, I haven't, but anyhow, he brought him down, and every time he'd come in there, about once a month, he'd take 2 or 3 of them old mine workers back up Cleveland and get them a job. He was a union coordinator.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they didn't stay.
Probably hated the city. Want to go back to East Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah, but anyhow, he took Alvin Webb up there. He was one of them they taken up there. And Alvin got his job, and they got him an apartment to stay in. And he took Alvin over to, what you call it. And Alvin said he felt like he could manage to stay there. And there was, right near where he lived, there was a guy had some used cars for sale. So anyhow, he had all those used cars, and while he was there, he got, I don't know, several things, but he went back to, he'd come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But the guy, he told him, he said, I'll take that, and I'll keep paying on that car. That guy said, I can't do that. You go to East Kentucky, I'll never get my car back. So he said, okay. But he said, he said, I'll pay you a little bit every month, every payday on it. And whenever they came to a number, whenever he got a good part of it paid off, then he could get the car. Well, what he did was, he told him, said, he'd go back and forth, and he'd go sit in it. He wouldn't let him take it off the lot, but he'd go sit in it. And
That's a different time.
Bud. But anyhow, they got him there in that, and they told him, he said, you can't, you ain't making no progress on that. He said, well, I thought I could pay for it that way, but I can't. He said, I'll just give it back to you and you can get my money back. I felt like, I can't give you money back. I could have sold that car 2 or 3 times. So anyhow, but anyhow, they brought him down and give him all they had, basically. and he still couldn't pay for the car. But when he'd go down there and visit it every so often, he'd take doodads or stuff like little balls around the mirrors and around the windows and so forth.
You would take them?
Huh?
You would take them? What would he do? He would remove them?
He just got them in there. He'd sit there in that car and then he'd decorate it a little bit.
Oh, he put stuff on it. Okay.
But anyhow, after he'd had them going for a while, and he said, well, he said, I've been told I could work at the mine. There'd be a few older people. He said, I got to go back. He said, you give me my money back, and I'll give you the car back. So I said, I can't do that. I could have sold that car 2 or 3 times. You wouldn't let it go. But that guy said, all right. And he said, well, here's what I'll do. He said, here's your car. You don't get no money back. And I can't do nothing much with it.
Was it a different car? Different car?
Same car. That fella, he said, I'll tell you. He said, I can't do nothing with it. He said, I just can't do nothing with it. He said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. You give me the money and I'll call it. Even he said, I can't do that either. He said, well, all right. And he went down there, and there he was they turned him loose, and he said, I don't know. He said, can't share. And he said, well, he said, I just can't do nothing with it. I got to go back, and he don't give my money back, so I guess you get to keep the money. So I said, yep. He said, well, he said, if I go back today, what will you give me back? He said, nothing. And I stood there for a little while, and the fellow said, well, mister, can I have my doodads back? And he said, yes, you can have all that junk you put on it, because it ain't helping the resale. But anyhow, they got it cleared up, and he went back to that house.
With his doodads.
But anyhow, and Clifford come back. Of course, Clifford had a lot to him, you know. But he come back and said, that fella said, well, can I? He don't give my money back. He said, no. He said, well, I guess I get my doodads back. He said, yeah, get all that junk off there. So, that's the way it settled till he got home. By the time he got home, he had a new name. They were calling him Doodad.
It was Clifford. Clifford called him Doodad because he had all his doodads with him.
But anyhow, it worked out good. Everybody got what they basically needed.
Yeah.
ARH.
Yeah. That was 1953. And was it Alvin or something? Was his name Alvin?
Yeah.
Clifford's friend Alvin, Alvin what?
It's in 1953, 54.
Yeah.
53.
You remember him? You remember that guy? You remember Alvin? Do you remember him?
He worked for me.
Oh, did he?
He come back and worked for me.
Did he?
Yeah. I liked Alvin, but it didn't, you know.
He wasn't all there, was he? The doodads. I wondered he kept his doodads. Probably stuck on the new car, didn't he?
But anyhow, that's the way he was.
That's funny.
There you go.
Robin told me to ask you that.
Huh?
Robin told